Oh, there you are, YouTube. I'm about to watch Suicide Squad. No, The Suicide Squad. And I am hyped. I'm just really excited to see what James Gunn can do. Is Superman going to be in this? Is there going to be a cameo? I don't know. Probably not, but you never know. James Gunn, I'm sure, was just like given freedom, the freedom that he does not get at Disney for this film. So I don't know. I'm just excited to see a James Gunn superhero movie without the Disney restrictions. I think we're in for something amazing. Let's get to watching. Before I watch it, I probably should mention that I am watching it on HBO Plus, not in the theater. I originally did want to go to the theater, but it's right here. It's on my TV. So yeah, gonna do it that way. Maybe I'll go to the theater later to watch it if it feels like it needs that big screen, but HBO Max it is. And here we go. Okay, the movie's over. This is going to be a spoiler, like reaction review, because I just want to get into some details. So I'm going to assume you have seen it. Not going to get into like plot or anything, but I guess, I don't know, should I get into nitpicks? Let me start, because I do have a few, but otherwise, I think this movie is great. And it feels like one of the most well-oiled films we've gotten from the DC films. And I think maybe that comes from Gunn's experience with Disney, perhaps. I don't know, there were a lot of things that felt similar and clean and just Disney if Disney went very R, or I don't know. I know things weren't Disney at the time, but I was sort of getting vibes of Deadpool 2. A lot of that was because, at the very beginning, we're meeting all these characters, and same thing happens in Deadpool 2. We're creating this team, and then like they're all killed right away. And I wasn't too sure how I felt about that with this movie. I guess this would be like a nitpick, because I really wanted to see, like, that's kind of the fun thing about the Suicide Squad, is there are so many different characters. James Gunn is, pulling from the obscure corners of DC, and we didn't get to see what all of these people can do or what they're special for. And in the first Suicide Squad, that really only happened with, I'm probably getting his name wrong, but was it like Slipknot or something like that? A guy who, can tie knots really well. It's like, oh, cool, here's a new character, and then boom, he's gone. And they did that with a lot of people in this movie. And like Pete Davidson's character, what was his name? Blackout or something? I can't remember his name. But, I wanted to know what that character could do. Like, why is he special? Like, at least give us an example of his power, ability, whatever. See, I don't even know if he has a superpower. Like, what is he? Why is Pete Davidson, considered special in this universe? Like, I think that would have been cool. And then, same thing with Weasel, sort of, end credits. Remember, this is spoilers. But, they killed him off right away. And it was kind of like, man, I was really excited to look at that character a lot in this movie and see how they're going to utilize him, maybe crawling through tunnels and things like that. That would have been cool. But at the end credits sequence, we find out that he is still alive. So maybe if they make more, we will get something like that to where he is in the film more. And, it's probably a budget thing. We can only afford him to be in the movie for this long. Who knows? But I would have liked to have seen that. I can't believe they killed Jai Courtney, Captain Boomerang. I just didn't expect that. I was like, oh, he was in the first one. I don't, care about that character very much. So it was just kind of like cool or interesting, surprising that they had this guy that was like a featured main player in the first one and just killed him off right away. It was kind of like, Michael Biehn in Aliens, Alien 3. He's alive in Aliens, and then he, doesn't make it in Alien 3. It's kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Other characters, I don't know, like Nathan Fillion, his character, Detachable Arm Man or whatever, the Detachable Kid, was that it? DK, Detachable Kid? It was cool that we actually got to see what he could do, so that was awesome. And I would have liked to have gotten that from Pete Davidson and maybe some of the other characters like Mongel. How did they say that? What did they do? And I wanted to learn more about them because like even in the movie they're like, what is she? Is she a god or an alien or what? You know, that would have been cool to learn. But you know, we did get some of those more obscure characters that did make it through. The big one is Polka Dot Man. And here's another nitpick. Polka Dot Man was awesome. Probably one of my favorite parts about the film. Brought humor and emotion, but done through humor. You could see he's very tortured for a variety of reasons. Does not like that he has superpowers and blames his mother for that. And they, again, filter it through humor, but you can tell he's very damaged inside. Damaged. So I just kind of, I don't know, I like everything that we got with him, but I didn't like that he was killed at the end. Like, okay, here's some other things with him. We see him when he has the dots covering him, and then he goes and hides and spills them all out, and it looks insane. But we did not get a sequence of him doing that. You know, I would have liked to have seen that when he's like spilling out his rash onto Starro. I think that would have been cool, or maybe done more damage to Starro instead. But then, you know, he does a little damage, effective damage to Starro at the end, but then he's killed, like, right away for a joke. But I think, like, that's kind of like an expected joke. I think a better joke would be this guy from DC Comics that never gets mentioned, nobody cares about, nobody had even heard of him until he was announced that he was going to be in this movie, makes it to the very end. And I think they had, you know, sort of these established characters at the end that made it all the way through, that they're like, okay, we have to kill one of them, we can't keep them all alive. So they chose him because he's the most obscure and unneeded for a sequel. But I think he's like Jubilee. Like, he could be used very well in sequels, and I just think that would have been funnier and a better joke and something that could have been pushed forward, that this guy who meant nothing to the DC Comics, DC fans, or anything for years and years is now a superstar and going to be one of the greatest characters in all of the DCEU films. So I think that would have been funnier for him to make it and be one of the main players that took down Starro in a more exciting way than he did. Like, what he did was cool, but I would have liked to have seen him, like, building up his rash this entire time and use that to, like, really, really, really take down Starro, or take down a lot of, like, Starro's, like, minions or whatever. I think we could have had something really visually interesting and special with that character that pushed him forward into new movies, to where he, again, is like a main character, like the main 3 or main 4, and has, you know, even a bigger part and gains more confidence because he does feel like a superhero and not like a failed superhero that couldn't live up to his mom's potential or something. I think we could have gone deeper with that character and still filtered everything through humor. Maybe that's a bigger problem. I was saying it was a nitpick. I mean, it worked, what happened, but I was just kind of like, yeah, I kind of expected that. So to me, taking him on and putting him on a pedestal as, like, you know, the Flash of, I'm just throwing Flash out there, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, I don't know who, of the Suicide Squad, like making him a main player that we see all the time in all future films, and then they write him into the comics more. Maybe that's already happening. I haven't followed the comics in forever. So, like, since the New 52. But I just want, it would have been great to have him become like Justice League status within, like a Justice League member status within the Suicide Squad. That's what I would have liked to have seen. Superman did not make an appearance, but that's fine. I don't know, like, Harley Quinn was nice. I like seeing her. Love Harley Quinn, love Margot Robbie. I think there was like a section where she wasn't in the movie very often, and sometimes when that happens in like sequels, I'm always like, was this written on purpose? Like, or was it like she's so popular, so busy now that she couldn't find a way to be on set the entire time with everybody else? Because, you know, she's so famous now that they just had to film scenes away from everybody else. I don't know. I always wonder about stuff like that. Kind of like, have you ever seen the movie Zoolander versus Zoolander 2 or Anchorman versus Anchorman 2? The sequels, everybody is spread out. They're not near each other, all the main cast members. And that's, I think, because they're all super famous and their schedules don't align anymore. It's harder to get them to align. So they never really have scenes together. And, you know, making those movies not very good because the chemistry is what's awesome. But so that's where my mind was going with Harley. But then she's like with the team, and that, you know, was like, okay, that's good. I want to see her with everybody, and it's happening. So I don't know. My worries about what was going on with Harley quickly went away. Peacemaker was awesome. John Cena was cool, and you know, it looks like we're gonna get a show series or something with him. Idris Elba, Bloodsport, he was good. I think I loved everybody. Milton was good. Milton, again, that was very Deadpool 2. But I loved that he had that, you know, sort of power walk with the crew. That was awesome that he was involved in that. I mean, man, for that actor to say that forever, that he is in that silhouetted power walk, that is very cool. But yeah, it was kind of like a character in Deadpool 2 that was sort of like that. I like the way it was like a non-linear narrative, like it would rewind a little bit and then do sort of like a parallel edit, which I thought was really cool. Rather than, you know, doing a true parallel editing, it would like play out an entire sequence, then go to a different section happening simultaneously, so that we could watch that and find out how they interconnect. I thought that was really good. It's the Citizen Kane of superhero movies because of that. But yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. Starro was very cool and obnoxiously colored, which was great and so comic booky and perfect. Rick Flag lightened up from the first one. I like the first one. I think I'm in the minority on that. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what thoughts are on that movie. I feel like this one almost was like overusing music, like songs, I should say, like soundtrack songs to like score the movie. The beginning half sort of felt that way. And I was like, I don't know, are we hearing too many songs? But then I feel like that sort of melted away. I was a little worried, and then, you know, we did fine. King Shark, I feel like he was a little underutilized. We did see some cool stuff with him, but I think I mean, he's probably like this in the comics, but I wish he wasn't, like, dumb. I feel like they made him dumb, but maybe that's how he is in the comics. I don't know. It was just kind of like, I don't know. We see this with Hulk. You know, Hulk has I don't know, like a limited vocabulary or whatever, kind of dense, doesn't understand things. We've seen it with, like, Drax in a certain way. I mean, Drax is, I think, funnier, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I think it would have been fun if he was, like, articulate, but maybe he's not that way in the comics. I don't know what he's like in the comics. I know in the comics he's, like, you know, very strong. It looks like a street shark, you know, from that 90s cartoon. But they gave him the dad bod here. So, I don't know. I think I just would have liked to have seen him be smart and articulate. I think that would have been maybe a more interesting path. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how it would have worked. It was fine. Maybe I just wanted to see him do more action. Like when he was really mad at Bloodsport, like when Bloodsport was shooting him up, that was awesome, and I was ready to see action like that towards the bad guys, and we didn't really get to see that because he's very calm and cool when he was around the bad guys, I felt like, but I wanted to see anger. Ratcatcher 2 was the heart of the movie. Like, that stuff was so good. That was so beautiful. I don't know that actor's name, but they just put in all the emotion. Like, that was really nice. I thought that was good. They are a great great at what they do. That was good. I wasn't like crying or anything. I don't even think I got misty-eyed, but I was like, this is good. I like this. You're the heart of this movie, the soul of the movie, all of that of this movie. But again, overall, like the movie. I'm a fan of it. I don't know how I would rank it with the other DC movies. Maybe number one. I think it's in the running with. I haven't seen the Zack Snyder Justice League yet, but for me, I like Wonder Woman a lot, and I like this movie a lot. So I'm trying to figure out which one do I like more. And Wonder Woman's villains, to me, don't quite match the rest of the film. They feel a little, I'm a cartoon, where everything else feels a little bit more grounded. And here I feel like everything is on the right level. It's all cohesive. So I don't know. Might be my favorite. This might be my favorite one, even with the nitpicks. But man, I'm really upset what they did with Polka Dot Man. Amanda Waller felt very Amanda Waller in this. Like, I feel like the look felt more correct. I mean, I could be wrong, but maybe I just feel like things that I've seen in the comics and in cartoons and stuff, Viola Davis's like look was more perfect in this movie than in others. So I don't know, but again, I've been away from comics and the cartoons for a long time. I am just pretty much watching these movies when I can, and this one was great, and I love it. I'd like to see. I guess I just wish I could have seen a lot more of what the characters that were killed off could do. Mainly, but you know, I guess in this case it's just like Pete Davidson's character. A lot of gore in this movie, but I don't know. I didn't find it offensive or anything or overdone. I think it's because the humor level I think helps it out, you know. And I don't know. I guess I'm old and I've just seen, you know, a lot. Like I remember when I saw Super, that movie, and when Elliot Page gets their head blown off, like I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But when that happens to Pete Davidson in this movie, I was like, huh. You know, not because it was Pete Davidson. It was just kind of like, you know, I'd seen that before years ago. So I'm not, you know, I guess I'm desensitized to it. Okay, I keep thinking of things. But okay, again, I thought it was great. I hope they make an epic, beautiful steelbook for this movie because I want all those faces, you know, embossed in steelbook, and I think that I hope they have a variety of them because I don't know, I think it could be great. I didn't miss Will Smith at all in this, because I don't know, I don't know, Killer Croc maybe I missed because I love his makeup. Didn't miss Boomerang, you know, he was in it but wasn't in it. I don't know. I guess Killer Croc would be the only one just because I really like the creature effects and makeup effects and things like that. But yeah, this is good. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Everybody's probably already seen it. Actually, if you're watching this very spoiler review, you probably saw it, hopefully. Anyway, okay, I got to finish this. So the Suicide Squad is very good, and perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.